You know, sometimes when things happen in life, people say that maybe it's a bit too soon to make a comment that is unnecessary. Maybe it's a bit too soon to make a joke because, boy, the wounds are still very, very fresh. Now, bear in mind, folks, with everything that happened with Veronica and I believe now her ex-fiance Seth with the altercation, we have to bear in mind there's a lot of people that would have been triggered by what we've obviously had to, document. And to be fair, folks, I will be giving you guys more information regarding what actually happened between Seth and Veronica. So please do stay tuned for that. But before we get into that, Jamal decided to open his mouth. And this is when I say some people feel like maybe he spoke a bit too soon. And some people may even feel like maybe he's been a bit too insensitive because, well, this matter itself in particular is triggering to some people who have been through this or may unfortunately still be going through this type of situation that Veronica and her partner obviously went through or probably have been going through. So let's get into exactly what Jamal decided to do. So as you can see right here, folks, he decided to come out of a little comment, which I've now bloody lost on my bloody phone because I had it ready for me to read because that little picture there is way, way too small. So in the little picture there, he's obviously taking this off somewhere. And it says, my ex is somewhere lying, telling her new boyfriend how bad I was, and he's smiling thinking she's the one. Two idiots. That's exactly what he had to say originally. Then he came back again to social media, and this time he came in with this one. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. That track is a banger. And I really, really wanted to be nodding my head because that's what I've been normally doing, but not in this situation. But as you can see, he also adds in by saying, no comments, but Summer, you owe me an apology. Now, of course, we know that when he was with Veronica on The Single Life, a lot of things went down between him and Veronica. Of course, we did see her lose her temper towards Jamal in a conversation. And also on top of that, we also saw how Veronica and Tim was together as well, which for Jamal throughout the season, he was basically trying to express exactly, what things were going on between himself and Veronica and Tim always being involved. So I guess this is him now saying that, see guys, I told you this whole time that I was never the issue, it was her. Well, here's the thing. Let's see what people had to say in the comment section. This person says, this is tasteless of him. This person says, coming from a guy who rolled his mum's back to gain fame. Someone even goes and says, who's this? Who's this? The calamity. This person says, I have always believed him. I am not his biggest fan, but I saw through her since the beginning. So this is quite interesting because obviously when it comes to this comment, well, I'd love this person to really elaborate. But nonetheless, though, the question does ask for you guys to let me know, did you always see this coming from the beginning? Did you always see this being something that we would witness from Veronica? Give me your thoughts on that. And of course, other people continue by saying the same thing, saying this is tasteless, and shows that he is still more worried about her than she is of him. To be fair, is a very, very good point. Because generally speaking, when we move on from someone, we're supposed to move on from someone. Allowing her to live rent-free in his head is crazy business. You know what I'm saying? Because, well, if I know I've moved on from somebody, whatever they do in their life is irrelevant to me. Imagine John Cena came out that time when everything that went down between Nikki Bella and her now ex, the baby father of her child. Imagine he came out and said, oh, see guys, I told you so, but none of you could see it when I told you. Do you know what I mean? That would have shown how petty he is, and that would have shown how much he hasn't moved on from her. But of course, he didn't say a goddamn thing because, well, he's moved on himself. He's got a new girl, happily married, and at the end of the day, all he could do is wish the best for Nikki. But unfortunately, that happened. Do you see what I'm saying? So this really does show how immature Jamal can be, or he is. But then again, at the same time, let's be real, folks. He is now living the life with this whole 90-day bad boys, and let's be real. Living that lifestyle doesn't really ever help you move on from somebody, because that lifestyle is just for people that are just living this type of mentality, but we'll leave it there. But now we're going to get into the new details, or the added details, shall I say, that I found out regarding what happened between Veronica and her fiance Seth, which I'd imagine again would be her ex-fiance. So, as you know, an arrest did happen between Seth and Veronica. Now, as reported by Starcasm, it does say here that according to jail records, Veronica was arrested just before 3 a.m., which is of course something that I spoke about yesterday, at her home in the Union County of North Carolina, and she was charged with a misdemeanor of domestic violence. And Seth was arrested at the same address roughly 40 minutes later. He has been charged with a misdemeanor count on assault of a female, or on a female. Both Veronica and Seth have bonded out. Veronica's bond was $500 and Seth's bond was $2,500, which tells me that more or less Seth was the one that is the aggressor and Veronica was the one on the other side of it, based on how much these bonds are. But then again, maybe it's due to who showed more injuries. I guess at this moment in time, it's probably very unclear for anybody to know who really began this. But either way though, this was Seth's bond. It doesn't appear either of them have posted publicly about the arrest. And to be fair, let's talk about that, because I did speak about it yesterday, didn't I? I said that on social media, these two literally 21 hours ago, well, at the time when I made the video last night, it was 21 hours ago, and literally Veronica had posted a post showing that these two having this best life possible, they're living this glamorous lifestyle, and in reality they wasn't. And to be fair, I did say yesterday that I hope this was the first time and the only time, but people did say that, to be honest, it's very unlikely that this was the first time. And unfortunately, this may have never been the first time these two got into an altercation. Because like I said before, when she turned up at I think it was the last resort tell-all, when she turned up, her face was really, really puffy. Or was it Love in Paradise? Not Love in Paradise, Hunt for Love. I think it was Hunt for Love. Either way, she turned up with a very, very puffy face. And at the time, she said her face was puffy because she had gotten emotional prior because of something that had happened between her and Seth. Again, who's to know what really, really happened prior to her coming on there. Now, as you can see, both Veronica and Seth have court dates in early March. That's just a long time from now. According to court documents, Veronica unlawfully and willfully did use physical force against Seth by striking Seth in the face. Court documents indicate Seth assaulted Veronica when he held/grabbed Veronica, causing scratches to her wrist and thighs. The conditions of release documents for both Veronica and Seth state they are not to assault, threaten, or harass prosecuting witness. Honestly, it is crazy business that these two got into a position where it got this physical, it got this violent, let alone getting violent alone itself in particular. Now, for some of you may remember that Veronica does have a history of being arrested multiple times, which is something that I'm going to give you guys a quick little reminder about. Sarcasm have previously, revealed that Veronica was arrested in Florida for multiple felonies, including 3 battery charges in 2006. Veronica was the result of her alleged outburst after a traffic accident. Veronica reportedly struck a police officer and a paramedic on the scene. So when it comes to violence, Veronica is somebody that's never been shy of that. Yeah, very, very concerning. 2 of Veronica's felony charges were later dismissed. 2 of the felony battery charges were later dropped to misdemeanor charges. Those were officially dismissed in April of 2006 after the DA's office decided not to prosecute. And then also on top of that, there was also another time when it was reported of Veronica's 2016 DWI arrest in North Carolina. At the time of our initial report, the outcome of the charges was unclear. Sarcasm spoke with the court clerk, who confirmed Veronica was found guilty of level 4 DWI. Level 1 is the most severe, level 5 being the least severe. She was given 120 days suspended sentence and 12 months of probation, in addition to fines and court costs. According to the court documents, Veronica Rodriguez was cited for reckless driving in August of 2025, literally a few months ago, after she was observed doing 50 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone. You guys have a 25-mile zone? Damn, that does not exist in the UK. We have 20 miles sometimes. Yep, Wales is really bad for that. Oh, goddamn. Anyway, 25 is a very random number. Sorry. Anyway, maybe they can change the 20 zones to 25 zones in the UK. Either way, though, as part of a plea agreement, the reckless driving charge was later dismissed. So Veronica is obviously somebody that has a history, somebody that is definitely there is no surprise, unfortunately, when it comes to herself and the law, even most recently as this year, which is quite crazy, isn't it? It seems to me as if there's a lot of work that Veronica probably needs to do with herself, regardless of how this all turns out in the end. She really needs to do something about this situation, because being arrested multiple times like this is not a good one. And also being in physical altercations in the past as well is not a good one. Now, of course, when it comes to Seth, we don't have any history regarding if he's ever been in if he's ever been arrested before, and if he has been arrested, has he been arrested for anything similar to what we're seeing now? That's something that we haven't been able to come across. But of course, if that information was to obviously appear, I would definitely be here to let you guys know, because therefore we can better understand who Seth is, and also better understand who maybe was the aggressor between the two. Now, of course, like you said before here, we won't know what the court dates aren't until early March. So therefore, we probably won't have anything more to speak about regarding this up until then. But if something else does come up within the meantime, I'll definitely let you know, because at this moment in time, Veronica or Seth have come out publicly. So there's a chance that both of them two will come up publicly at some point. And if they do, of course, we'll let you know exactly what they have to say. I'm probably expecting Veronica to be more the one that's going to speak rather than him, but that is here or there. Either way, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and we can talk about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.